Well, Jessica, there are some measures of protection for justices that are not discussed publicly, but there are also vulnerabilities exposed when Justice Breyer came face to face with his assailant. A law enforcement official tells CNN there's nothing so far to indicate that Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer was specifically targeted when an assailant entered his home on the island of Nevis recently and robbed him at the point of a machete. But the incident raises a serious question. Are America's top judicial figures adequately protected? The Supreme Court won't talk publicly about specific security arrangements for the justices. But here in the Washington area where they live, justices often move around without visible security and protection. Justice Breyer's home is on this street in Washington. There's nothing in front of his house. And two Supreme Court justices live on this street in suburban Virginia. We look for visible signs of protection. Nothing. That's where we met Ralph Basham, former director of the Secret Service. That agency works with the Supreme Court police to investigate threats to the justices. But like many top government officials, there's no extended protection when they're at home. Shouldn't they have some level of personal protection with them at all times?
I don't believe that they necessarily need protection 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you're going to do protection, you have to do it totally. Because if people are, in fact, watching to see where you may be vulnerable, they're just going to wait till that protection goes away.
Basham says 24/7 protection is very expensive and invasive to privacy. The U.S. Marshals Service protects the justices when they travel domestically. A Marshal spokesman would only say that agency is aware of the incident involving Justice Breyer and assisting in the investigation. Basham points out one effective form of protection for the justices is their relative anonymity. But there have been close calls. Justice David Souter was once mugged in Washington, though there's no indication he was targeted. Justice Clarence Thomas was the target of a racially motivated threat. And someone once fired a bullet through the living room of Justice Harry Blackmun, who wrote the court's opinion legalizing abortion nationwide.
Some motivated individual that is determined, he or she, there is a potential that they could get to one of our public figures, yes.
Basham and other experts say justices at the federal district court level often face greater threats to their security than Supreme Court justices because they deal firsthand with the criminal element. They point to that case of District Judge Joan Lefkoe, who found her husband and her mother shot to death inside her home in Chicago in 2005. The assailant was believed to have been someone who'd had a lawsuit dismissed by Judge Lefkoe. So it all boils down to questions still being asked. Are top judicial figures being adequately protected? Jessica, we may not know the answer to that tonight.
In the wake of this incident you just talked about in Chicago, are federal judges getting more protection?
It did not change after that incident, but it's a balancing act. If a federal judge feels some kind of a threat and they want more protection, they will get it from the marshals. But as for 24/7 guard, no.